and there's one who I've basically not watched at all. Not for any particular reason, just because I haven't thought to, I think. And that's Sam Harris. But I did actually watch a TED Talk that he did the other day that scared the absolute shit out of me.
Oh, is this the AI one?
Yeah. Because it's just that notion of, as is with a lot of technologies, but I think more so with AI, is once it's there, you can't really undo it. And it's that lack of control as well. Once it's out there, I think he was talking about how, I don't know how many times it is, but electrical signals can be passed like X times faster than signals in the brain, right? So by default, AI will be able to learn, not quite, but infinitely quicker than us, at a rate that we cannot ever surpass or even match. So once that happens, there's no control over that.
Yeah, I think it's hard. People aren't really, when people think about stuff like this, the dangers of advancing technology, and specifically when it comes down to AI, people aren't really following the conclusion through. So people think it's going to be like the Terminator, where we're going to have an humanoid android thing that's going to just decide that it wants to kill all the humans.
But that's not how it's going to go.
You know, yeah.
Even do you know that robot Sophia that they've been claiming recently? It's like a bald woman with an actual like human-ish face. Mm-hmm. I watched a video about that because at first, when you watched that video maybe a year or two ago, that was quite fascinating because you go, "Oh my god, you could have an interfaceable AI that you can actually talk to as if you were a human." But I watched a video where sort of people would come up, they'd invite people up where the Sophia was sitting on a stage and ask it questions, and it just seemed like the same, in quotation marks, AI that's been around for the last sort of 15 years.
Chatbot.
That's just got pre-programmed responses, but not intelligence by any stretch. Like Siri, it's basically Siri but with a physicality, and that's not impressive.
Yeah, so here's the thing about how AI normally tends to work when you're really building, say, I know a little bit about evolutionary algorithms and stuff like that. Normally you need to give it a goal. So you would say, a lot of times, for example, I've watched quite a few where they'll take an AI system and they'll get it to learn how to play a game. A lot of the times what they'll do is they'll just say, right, do random things
until it works.
Your goal is to win the game, right? Whereas, what's your goal in a social interaction? What's your goal in a conversation? It changes.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to get something to...
You need to, in order to be a conversationalist AI, it needs some form of consciousness. It needs opinions. It needs actual opinions rather than pre-programmed responses or something like that.
Yeah, it has to, in order to feel like a human, it
has to be unpredictable to an extent.
Do you think humans are really that unpredictable all the time?
Not all the time, but when you compare it to like a robot, like a program.
I see what you're saying.
Computer programs are designed to work in a specific way, whereas humans, you can't always know what a human's intentions are or something like that.
And that's goal setting, really, isn't it? It's like you're always going to have... I mean, let's say if your goal as an AI chatbot, for example, is to have a good interaction with the other person, please the other person, then all that bot is going to say is, it's going to give you platitudes and false.
It's going to give you what you want.
It's going to give you what it thinks you want.
Yeah.
Which, a lot of the time isn't going to be exactly what you want. And then it's hard to, how do you gauge someone's response?
Yeah.
From, you'd have to teach it to, recognize faces and recognize facial expressions. And really, we've got some idea of how that works in people, but not really.
Yeah.
Not in a way that we could go, oh, this is how it works, and we'll just put it in the robot.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons psychology is not a pseudoscience. Thank you very much, you git.
Well, I mean, it's like real science, but like without the science. It's like, if you want to just talk to someone about stuff, and that's it. Sure.
Oh, you're such a prick.